First out on parade is horse number 1, Quick Glance, the mount of apprentice Marshal Bikausaru. 3 is We Doc and Doris with Sherman Brown. 4, Amazamat with Wesley Marwing. 6 is David's Flower with Ryan Munga. 5, Record Bid with Norbert Takawira. 7 is Avaricious with Henny Kraling. We Doc and Doris turning to go down, followed by Record Bid. 8 is Al Zalam with Morgan Nyamagwete. 9 is Anthony's Laser, J.P. van der Merwe. 11, Bullion Bay with Farney Chambers. 13, Catnip with Brendan McNaughton. 14 is Enough Said, Apprentice Matthew Thackeray. Those are your runners for race 3. Off time is 2:15.
Race 3 at Bridal Park this afternoon is a soccer 4 merited 60 handicap over 1,600 meters. We've got one scratching in number 2, Barbarian, leaving us with 13 runners going to post here for the third race of the afternoon. One jockey change, number 5, Record Bid, now ridden by Norbert Takawira, and the blinkers are off Record Bid. Those are the only changes here for the third race of the afternoon. And it looks a very tricky race, and one of the two hardest races in the card is race 3 and obviously race 7. And trying to decide for this one, trying to find a winner, it's not easy. A lot of horses with a chance, but I've had to narrow it down, and I've gone my numbers 14, Enough Said, to beat number 7, Avaricious, then number 3, We Doc and Doris, and number 6, David's Flower for 4th. Those are my first 4 past the post. But like I said, there's more than that can win the race. It's a very open-looking race here indeed. It's race 3. My first choice, I've gone with number 14, Enough Said, from the Emmy Bronkhorst yard. Matthew Thackeray gets a ride. And you look at horse's form line, it really is consistent of late. And she's never far off in this Tiger Dance mare. And penultimate, last start, she went down by 0.8 of a length of David's Flower. She's slightly bet off in the weights in that race with a couple of runners. Then you go back to 3 runs ago when she ran second to Standpoint, and that form really is looking good. You saw Standpoint come out since then and won a very good race last meeting convincingly by over 3 lengths. So that form looks very strong. No weight on her back. Drawn 4. I think everything ticks the right boxes for Enough Said here to win today, and she is my first choice in a very tricky race. For second, I've gone with number 7, Avaricious, from the Penny Fisher yard. Henny Kraling gets a ride. And this horse, last 2 starts, has been very consistent. Ran a good third behind Finlay. But last start, it absolutely dawdled in when winning by 2 lengths beating Anthony's Laser. It won very easily on a very good ride from Chase Marjan that day. They backed it from 7-1 to 4-1. I think the yard fancied it. And it did everything right that day. And the way this horse won, I think there's no reason why it can't notch up another back-to-back victory here. Is going 200 meters shorter, which might be the only concern, having looked at the form lines, and it does seem to prefer a bit further, but he is by VAR out of a Jetmaster mare, so there's no reason why this mile shouldn't be just as good as over 1,800 meters. And number 7, Avaricious, definitely one to watch very closely here in the third of the afternoon. For third, I've gone for number 3, We Doc and Doris, from the Kirk Swanson Sherman Brown combination. They've won the first 2, looking for a hat-trick, and this horse has come well this season. Won a very good race first up in the season when beating Valmont under King DeMello, and then came out and ran a good second to David's Flower when Sherman Brown rode the horse going down by a quarter of a length. And on that performance, you've got to give this horse a shout. Last time out was an MR70. when well beaten by Perfect Grace, but that was quite a strong field that day. It was like Standpoint that came out and won from that form line, and it was up in a higher division. So, I think that you can put a slight line through that run. It was a third run in a row, might be a bit flat as well. And I do think Weedock and Doris, if you reproduce his run to David's Flower and the win with a combination of Sherman Brown and Kirk Swanson today so far, you can't leave out Weedock and Doris. Number 4th, I've gone with number 6, David's Flower, another runner from the Penny Fisher yard. Ryan Munger gets a ride, and good win, an ultimate start when beating Weedock and Doris by a quarter of a length. Last start, you can put a line through that. It finished back in the field, but the saddle slipped that day, so Henry Grayling couldn't give much assistance to Avaricious, to David's Flower. So I do believe put a line through that. And if this horse reproduces its form behind Weedock and Doris, or to Weedock and Doris as well, I think David's Flower is a big, big runner. But like I said, it's a very open-looking race. It doesn't stop there. You've got to look at number 1, Quick Glance. Gets a 4 kgs off with Marshall Picarasu, 6:59.5. And this horse run some good races. It ran the same David's Flower form line, going down by half a length. Not a bad run behind Perfect Grace. I think last time was too far. So back over right distance. You've got to respect this McGock Gelding. Number 9, Anthony's Laser. Another one that you've got to have a look at. Ultra consistent, good run behind Avaricious and Bullion Bay. Not far off them in the Weedock and Doris form line. Standpoint form line sticks out as well. Along with number 11, Bullion Bay. Not the best of draws at 12, but has found a bit of better running form here of late. Good win beating Racy J, and then ran second behind 7 Kingdoms over 18. Obviously, the draw is a concern, but I think we can't leave this out of the play either for Trifectas and Quartets. So a very tricky race, very open-looking race, but obviously we had to narrow it down somehow. And I've gone with number 14, Enough Said, to beat number 7, Avaricious. Then number 3, Weedock and Doris. Number 4th, number 6, David's Flower.
We're now upon race time for race 3 here at Borrowdale Park. Runners now facing forward. Avaricious is the first one to come up. Enough Said, Anthony's Laser. Next up is a Mazamat. Bullion Bay goes up. Bullion Bay's ready. Anthony's Laser. Al-Zalam. Catnip goes in. Baumgartner. Weedock and Doris. Record Bid faces up. David's Flower is up next. Sterling Road. Anthony's Laser. Baumgartner. Quick glance facing up. Goes on. David's Flower. We'll try again with Baumgartner. Baumgartner is ready. David's Flower. Sterling Road to complete the lineup. Sterling Road is ready. Not quite. Backs out again. Sterling Road reloads. This time is ready. All set. And away and racing. They broke off in a pretty decent line. Baumgartner was one of the first ones to get away. Goes up to the lead. Also right up there, handy early on, is Sterling Road. Record bid is right up there. So too on the inside of runners Weedock and Doris. As they make their way now towards the 1100 meter marker, it's Sterling Road who leads. From back in second position then was on the inside of runners Catnip. Further back to on the white cap of Baumgartner. Avaricious is also right up there. Then a length back to on the inside of runners. There was Record Bid. Towards in behind those then was a Mazamat. Weedock and Doris is sitting in mid-division. Then came Anthony's Laser in behind that, and towards the back of the field was Quick Glance. They've gone a great gallop here. They're preparing to turn right-handed for home. Sterling Road is the leader. From back in second is Catnap. In behind that was Baumgartner. Enough Said settles into fourth position, about 5 lengths off of the leader. Avaricious still sitting in mid-division. Enough Said being ridden along now. Mazamat goes in for a rails run with 400 meters out. It's a truly run affair. Sterling Road out in front. From in behind that, Enough Said. A Mazamat coming down on the inside. David's Flower. Avaricious also being pushed along. 200 meters to go now. Down the center then was Alzalam. In behind that, Sterling Road. Down on the inside of runners then was Record Bid. David's Flower also in behind those. Avaricious Steve struck the front and is looking good. But David's Flower is coming from nowhere and goes on and snatches it on the line. David's Flower wins. From back in second is Alzalam. Third was tight between Enough Said and Baumgartner. Oh, David's Flower just comes in from nowhere really. Was not looking very pacey into the final 200 meters, but finds enough to just come up, snatch it on the line. David's Flower getting that victory. From back in second then was Alzalam. Third position was tied between the 10 and the 14. And on that picture, maybe just Enough Said getting down on the line ahead of Baumgartner. 6, 8, 14, and 10. set, and away and racing. They broke off in a pretty decent line. Baumgartner was one of the first ones to get away, goes up to the lead. Also right up there, handy early on, is Sterling Road. Record Bid is right up there. So too on the inside of runners Weedock and Doris. As they make their way now towards the 1100 meter marker, it's Sterling Road who leads. From back in second position then was on the inside of runners Catnip. Further back to on the white cap of Baumgartner. Avaricious is also right up there. Then a length back to on the inside of runners, there was Record Bid. Towards in behind those then was a Mazamat. Weedock and Doris is sitting in mid-division. Then came Anthony's Laser in behind that, and towards the back of the field was Quick Glance. They've gone a great gallop here. They're preparing to turn right-handed for home. Sterling Road is the leader. From back in second is Catnap. In behind that was Baumgartner. Enough Said settles into fourth position, about 5 lengths off of the leader. Avaricious still sitting in mid-division. Enough Said being ridden along now. Mazamat goes in for a rails run with 400 meters out to the truly run affair. Sterling Road out in front. From in behind that, Enough Said. A Mazamat coming down on the inside. David's Flower. Avaricious also being pushed along. 200 meters to go now. Down the center then was Alzalam. In behind that, Sterling Road. Down on the inside of runners then was Record Bid. David's Flower also in behind those. Avaricious Steve struck the front and is looking good. But David's Flower is coming from nowhere and goes on and snatches it on the line. David's Flower wins. From back in second is Alzalam. Third was tight between Enough Said and Baumgartner.
An exciting finish to the third of the afternoon. It was a tough race, as I said in the preview, very open-looking race, but David's Flower under a surging ride from Ryan Munger gets up on the line to beat Al Salam, and yeah, watching the replay, you came from the clouds. I mean, you got there just in time.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't think I was going to get there. And, the funny thing with this horse is, at about the 400, I gave him a clear run, and he didn't want to go through, so I had to come back through the horses, and, riding him like that seemed to work. He really just got up in the nick of time.
Well, funny enough you say that, because when he won that last start, when Henry rode him, exactly more or less the same way. He comes with the last dying strides flying.
Yeah, exactly. I think he wants to be ridden like that. He wants to come through horses, and he's not the type of horse that will go away and win by 5 or 6. He'll always just get up. So you have to kind of time your run right, because if you get there too early, he'll stop, and if you leave it too late, he won't get there. But full marks to Gogo, Mrs. Fisher. Thank you very much to her. She got the horse right and well, and it's another win for him. He's done very well since moving here to Zimbabwe.
Well, nice for you to get a win on today's card. Not many rides, but you know what, doesn't matter as long as you put them home.
Yeah, exactly. A winner makes any day a good day. And also I'd like to thank the owners in this one. Thank you very much for another win on David's Flower.
Well done and a good ride.
Thank you very much.
Ryan Munger, the winning rider there on David's Flower, and I thought a well-timed ride, but it's become a norm with this horse, because Henry Grading did the same thing last time he won, well-timed ride, and it sounds like a kind of horse you've got to ride to perfection, really.
Yeah, he obviously likes that last 200. I was getting a bit nervous. I thought he was going to get done, but yeah, well done to Ryan. Rode a great race. And well done to Christian and Mauritius and his partner over there. It's been delightful having him here, and hopefully he can crack another one.
Yeah, look, he's competitive enough. He's got quite a low rating. He's in the right divisions here in Zimbabwe, and not a young horse, but he's competitive, and I'm pretty sure he'll knock 1 or 2 more up along the way.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Gogo finds the right race for him. All will be good, eh? Well done to Vanessa, Gogo, and the whole team, and welcome to Gareth on board.
Good win, well done.
Thank you very much.
From Mungo Fisher, one of the many people that helped in the yard, Penny Fisher, and this David's Flower really won a good race here, and like I said last time when it won under Henry Grayling, got there on the line with exactly the same tactics today with Ryan Munger on the line, gets up there flying at the finish and wins probably by a head, but the winning line, got there in time for David's Flower, and he wins a very good race. Well done to the Mauritian owners in this horse, Ryan Munga, Penny Fisher, Mungo Fisher as well helps in the yard, along with Vanessa. So good for all those guys. Well done to the whole team. Second place went to number 8, Al Salam, under top ride from Morgan Yamagwete. He did nothing wrong there. He kicked to the right time, and the purse just didn't get there quite in time for Al Salam, but still a very good run from this horse in second place, and he's not far off notching up his third career victory. Third place went to number 10, Bomb Gardner. Very good run from this 4-year-old Black Malouche Gelding, having his second run back after a bit of a break. Much encouraging, and look forward to seeing him improving. Good run then in third place, and fourth place went to number 14, Enough Said. But once again, good ride from Ryan Munga to win the third of the afternoon on David's Flower. Don't forget, race 4 is the first leg of today's jackpot.